Are you searching for a way to better your health naturally without needing more meds, procedures, or surgery? Maybe you're looking to drop a few pounds and hope they'll come with better blood sugar control and lower cholesterol. If that's you, this could be why you're exploring plant-based eating right now. Well, if you're curious to find out more about what a plant-based way of eating can potentially do for you, you're in the right place. In this episode, I'll highlight 10 ways that a plant-based diet can be beneficial for you and your body, both short-term and long-term. So if you're still sitting on the fence, wondering if you should take that step forward into making a lifestyle change in the new year, join me inside. Get comfortable with a hot cup of tea and let's begin. Welcome to the Plant-Based Eating Made Easy podcast. I'm your host, Anna Zinn, plant-based registered dietitian and transition coach. Hi friend, do you want to regain your health with plant-based eating but feel overwhelmed and lost about how to do it? Do you feel it'll be hard to change your meat-heavy diet and impossible with working, running the home, or chasing after the grandkids? If so, you're in the right place. Here you'll find simple strategies, clear nutrition guidance, and practical tips to help you thrive plant-powered with more energy. So if you're ready to ditch the guesswork and transform your health the stress-free way, cozy up now with a hot cup of tea or listen while you walk, and let me show you how doable plant-based eating can be. Let's do this. Friend, if you're curious about what plant-based eating might look like or even taste like, I've got a free resource guide that will help you. It's called 7 Ways to Test Drive a Plant-Based Diet. Inside, you'll get tips and practical ways you can test out to see what it will be like to eat plant-based and to make this diet change. You'll get simple, easy to make yet tasty plant-based recipes to try too. So if you feel ready to try out plant-based eating and give this lifestyle a go, make sure to grab this resource to help you. Get it at plantnourish.com/test drive or see the link to access this in the episode show notes. Sometimes we are afraid to make a change, much less a lifestyle change, because we don't know what to expect on the other side. I remember a past client of mine sharing this. He told me that before he started a plant-based diet, he was wondering what it would be like to move into this lifestyle. He felt like he was peering over a wall into the unknown and was afraid to jump over to join the others he saw on the other side. But after moving into a plant-based diet lifestyle, he has experienced firsthand how smooth and enjoyable this diet transition could be. And he has been able to sustain a plant-predominant lifestyle ever since. I know other times, though, we're hesitant to make a lifestyle change because we're not really sure how that change can benefit us. I want to address this second concern today. Through research, you may have already read or heard from others eating plant-based about some of the changes they have experienced. Well, I'm here to tell you that eating a high-fiber, whole-food plant-based diet can definitely help you in many positive ways. If you've been listening to this podcast, you may have heard me say that natural whole plant-based foods are one of the most nourishing foods we can put onto our plates and into our bodies. That's because minimally processed and unprocessed whole plant-based foods are nutrient-dense and come packaged with complex carbohydrates, protein, fiber, vitamins, minerals, and many health-promoting and disease-fighting compounds. Now let's look at 10 specific ways why a plant-based diet may be good for you. Many large-scale studies have found that people on vegan or plant-based diets tend to, first, experience a lower incidence of total cancer cases. There is an association with less cancer risk in general and also better prognosis after diagnosis. In fact, both the World Cancer Research Fund and the American Institute for Cancer Research recommend a plant-based diet to cancer survivors who are in remission, as this may lower chronic inflammation and reduce excess adiposity that's often linked with worse survival outcomes. Secondly, a strong association has been seen between a plant-based diet pattern and lower cholesterol levels, and even a reduced risk of getting heart disease. In fact, Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn, a cardiac physician, has even demonstrated through scans the reversal of heart disease in his patients after a period of following a no-oil, low-fat, whole-food plant-based diet. Third, those with this eating pattern tend to experience less all-cause mortality or death. In 2023, the results from a large-scale population-based prospective study was published in the Journal of American Medical Association by Thompson and colleagues. This was a study focused on a cohort of 126,394 UK biobank participants with a mean age of 56 years, and researchers followed them for a period of at least 10 years. Researchers collected 24-hour dietary assessments on the participants and then tracked various outcome measures, such as incidence of cardiovascular disease, cancer diagnoses, fractures, and death. What researchers found was that greater adherence to a healthful, high-quality plant-based diet was associated with a lower risk of mortality, cancer, and particularly cardiovascular disease. This would be one centered on natural whole plant-based foods, like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. In contrast, higher unhealthy plant-based diet index scores were associated with higher risks of mortality or death, heart disease, and cancer. Now let's move on to a fourth reason. Many on a plant-based or vegan diet lifestyle enjoy weight loss to achieve a healthier weight status. Quite a number of randomized controlled trials have demonstrated this. More importantly, there's also greater likelihood of sustaining that new, healthier body weight without unhealthy, excessive restrictions of foods or the yo-yo weight cycle that often results from fad diets. Fifth, there tends to be lower levels of low-grade chronic inflammation in the body associated with obesity. But plant-based diet is also considered anti-inflammatory because it comes packed with anti-inflammatory components like flavonoids and carotenoids, which protect cells against DNA damage and help reduce inflammation. 6. There can be benefits to one's blood pressure. Often, a person's blood pressure readings are lower. There is also the potential to improve existing high blood pressure issues. In fact, this is one of the benefits a recent plant-powered life transformation course student experienced. She was able to get off blood pressure medications after adopting a plant-based diet lifestyle. 7th, those with this eating pattern tend to have healthier, more stable, and diverse gastrointestinal systems with less gut problems. That's because a fiber-rich plant-based diet helps build a strong, healthy gut microbiome in our digestive tract, helping to strengthen our immune system and lowering inflammation. I've shared before on this podcast that I used to have intermittent gut issues like diarrhea on and off since growing up, and this only really cleared up after I moved to a plant-based diet. I've also interviewed guests on this podcast who have had their gut problems resolved since changing to a plant-powered diet lifestyle. So I know this can definitely happen. And an 8th reason is this. A vegan or plant-based diet has also been associated with improved glycemic control, better insulin sensitivity, and in some cases, even reversal of type 2 diabetes. You just have to listen to some of the past guests I've interviewed on this podcast to hear their experience of this. In particular, I think of Sandra, whose interview you can listen to in episodes 7 and 8. After her diagnosis of type 2 diabetes, Sandra moved into a whole food plant-based diet, and about 6 months later, her blood sugars had improved and she no longer needed diabetes medications. I'll link these episodes for you in the show notes if you would like to find out more about her story. A 9th reason is that if a person's meals are centered around nutrient-rich whole plant-based foods and planned well, there's often greater satiety, less hunger between meals, and an increase in the body's post-meal metabolism. And here is number 10. Epidemiological studies have shown that populations adhering to plant-based diets typically have lower rates of breast cancer, compared to those consuming a typical Western diet. So there's an association of eating a vegan or plant-based diet with less risk of breast cancer. And it's not just for breast cancer. Some studies have reported that those on a vegan or plant-based diet have a lower risk of specific cancers like stomach cancers, bladder cancer, lymphatic and hematopoietic tissue cancers, while others show an association with vegans and plant-based eaters having a lower risk of prostate and colorectal cancer and certain gastrointestinal cancers. As can be seen, eating a high-fiber plant-based diet can give our bodies the best nutrition and best chance for a longer, better quality life. So today we looked briefly at just 10 reasons why a plant-based diet is good for you. Know that there are many, many more. But I hope this gives you at least a small snapshot of what some potential positive changes are that you can expect to experience when making a change to eating plant-based. I hope you feel encouraged and inspired by the positive health changes possible with the dietary lifestyle change I've shared in this episode. And research continues to be conducted to make clear more of the specific workings behind some of the associations we have seen between health and reduction of disease with a plant-predominant dietary pattern. Now here's an action step you can take. Friend, if you have been exploring what a plant-based diet is like and feel ready to seriously try it out or to start making some changes to the way you've been eating, make sure to grab my new free resource called 7 Ways to Test Drive a Plant-Based Diet. This guide comes with tips and simple but tasty plant-based recipes to give you many options for trying out this lifestyle. Grab it at plantnourish.com/test drive or see the link to it in the show notes. And make sure to keep listening. In just a few days' time, I'll be starting a plant-based beginner series with more smart tips and strategies to help you gain even more confidence in eating this new way. Let's start off 2026 well and make it a year of true lasting health change for you and your body. Thank you for listening to the Plant-Based Eating Made Easy podcast. If this podcast has helped you, please rate and leave a written review on the Apple Podcast app or iTunes to let me know. Nothing will lift me up more than to read your review and see how this podcast has made a difference in your life. I also pick reviews to read on this show, so your review could be one of them. Come connect with me in my free Facebook community group, Beginners for Plant-Based Diet Success. Just go to bit.ly/PB Diet Success. That's bit.ly/PB Diet Success. You can also subscribe and follow this podcast to get notified when a new episode goes live. Signing off now, this is Anna, and I wish you the best health always.